Holy shit, Alan. Charlie is still not back from his last Smiling Friends adventure. Pim, I do not care. Holy fuck, Glep, that's not very nice to say. One of us needs to go save Charlie. Well, me and Glep are going to a convention. I guess that Pimling, will have to go save Charlie. Hello, my beautiful and beloved troglodytes. Today, we're going to be playing Elden Ring as Pimley from Smiling Friends. Who the fuck is this guy? Anyway, without any further ado, let's get to it. This is my interpretation of Pim's beautiful face in Elden Ring. I think I got it bob on. I don't think there's a single mistake or a single way I could improve my Pim face. And at this point in the game, the closest we can get to Pim's drip is actually the prisoner starting gear. Don't worry, I do replace bits and pieces of it later. Ignore the fact it's basically the same as the Steve fit. And of course, this run starts like every other Elden Ring run does. You grab your finger and then you die, you perish. And for some reason that takes you to Limgrave, where there is this church that I physically can't stop myself from mentioning. Anyway, let's go get our basic starting bullshit out of the way, because you know, you kind of have to do it. Went to spoke to Melly, got Torrent, moved on. Grabbed the wet blade, and then went straight to Fort Height, so I could go get the first half of the medallion. I also grabbed the tears that are like at the base of this tree, because they're pretty good early on. They're better than nothing. They're on screen if you really care what they are. And of course I grabbed the axe talisman, even though it isn't really useful in this run. It's still my favorite talisman of all time, and I fucking love this fella. He's coming on this journey with us, like it or not. And because I have the start of this game basically down to a science, the next place I go is to the physic. And also I grabbed the Tear of Miracle that's here. Hey, look, a mystical magical portal. I wonder where this could possibly lead. To Garank, obviously. Remember to comment hi Garank, because I love engagement. But then Melly appeared and she decided that she was going to kidnap me and take me to the round table hold, which I really didn't mind because I actually had a reason to be here this time. To go buy a single dagger. And I do know that it doesn't quite look like the knife that Pim uses, but we will fix that later on. Anyway, how about we do something a little bit more productive? You already know we're going to go talk to Rodriga, or whatever her name is. I'm pretty sure I get it right. No one's complained about it yet, so until someone says otherwise, I'm correct. Anyway, the real reason we did go over to like this side of Limgrave is so we could take the secret path to the Learning of the Lakes. And obviously we ended up at the Learning of the Lakes. And what do you do at the Learning of the Lakes? Cry, apparently, because I found it here. Oh, what's this? I'm immediately entering a cave. I wonder what possible reason I could have for going in here. I'm here to purely get the Great Knife, because I know I've used it in previous runs. But there is not a knife in Elden Ring that's more knifey than the Great Knife. And don't worry, this won't be like the exact same build or anything. I'm going to use different Ash of Wars and stuff. Anyway, now let's do something that's actually pretty sick, cool, and rancid. Go talking to that scout. Rhea the Scout, to be specific. I'm on that like first name basis with her, so I can call her the Scout. She tells me to go kill some prawn guy, but I like the prawn guy more than I like her. So of course I let the prawn guy live, even buy some prawns off of him. I also gave Rhea the Scout her necklace back or whatever. It's adventure time, so I go grab this cape. You know, the one that's in between the dragon's legs. And I also stopped by Iju while I was, you know, around the area, because I quite like the fella. Even if, unfortunately, this run I do have very little use for him. Anyway, the real reason I went all the way to this side of Lernia is so I could get the Frost Stomp, Ash of War, whatever the fuck it's called. It's on screen right now if you really care. Because why make them bleed when you can freeze them to death? I also returned to Garank so I could do the parkour side of his sanctum, because, you know, I wanted the Dragon Crest Shield Talisman because it's one of the best starting talismans no matter what they're building the entire game. I then returned to the Learning of the Lake so I could go into like this crystal tunnel area that I can't quite remember the name of, because if you get to the end there's a boss there who's extremely easy to kill, very susceptible to like strike damage, who drops the first normal smithing stone bell bearer. I then went back to Garank just because I wanted to say hi to him again, because I love getting engagement off of my viewers and I love it when you comment hi Garank. But unfortunately Garank isn't actually the real reason I came here. I came here to go on a quick journey through Caelid so I could get to our favorite spot, the ball grinding spot. But don't take your pants off just yet, my beloved trogs, because we're not here to grind our balls. We're here to apparently die 3 times to the Knights Cavalry, because I fell off. But do not worry, my beloved troglodytes, for we do cheese them in the end. And I'm sorry if my mic sounds different. I've been messing with it because it wasn't sounding quite right to me. And as you could have probably guessed, I used the runes I got from killing the Knights Cavalry to go upgrade my little knife. Anyway, we're already an hour into this recording and 4 minutes into the video, so I think it's about time we go fight a boss. And who's the first boss you fight? Morgott. Transition. Who could have possibly guessed that a weapon that does both bleed and frost would absolutely decimate Morgott? I think most people could have guessed. But hey, with Morgott dead, that means we can finally go to Stormveil Castle, where first things first is the gate guy. You'll never guess what he does. He opens the gate. And as always, Stormveil is boring as fuck. Absolutely nothing happens here. But there is this lift, and if you didn't know, you can actually take this lift and skip a pretty sizable chunk of Stormveil Castle. For this information, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment, because if this video is a 10 out of 10 like the last one, I'm going to blow up. But hey, would you look at that? My shameless plugging took so long. We're actually outside of Godric's arena now. Transition. But ironically, Morgott is a much harder boss than fucking Godric. This guy is so slow and predictable. Nothing really else to say, it was really fucking easy, he's dead now. Anyway, I think it's time we finally get some bullshit done. So I head back to the learning of the lake so I can go through this mystical magical portal. So I can be taken to the outside of the Academy of Rhea Lucaria. But we ain't going to school just yet, so hold your horses. We are heading to the Bellum Highway. Where first things first, the first thing I do here is I grab the Tear of Miraculous in this church. And then I finally make it to the Great Lift of Dactus, whatever the fuck it's called. And I realized I completely forgot to go grab the medallion because I'm a fucking idiot. It doesn't exactly take a genius to figure out what I did next, because obviously I went and grabbed the medallion. And then I obviously hoisted it, so this entire segment probably could have been cut. But hey, look, the scouts here. She grabbed my hand and immediately took me to Volcano Manor. I'm gonna be so honest with you, I had absolutely no reason to be in Volcano Manor, so I immediately left. Hey look, we're in Leyndell, Royal Capital. What could I possibly be doing here? Getting the seeds, that's what I'm doing. Well, that's why I'm here, I'm grabbing the seeds that are on the floor. Because me and Zaki decided there should just be a fuck ton of seeds on this staircase. His vision truly is beautiful. And obviously, if you've ever watched one of my videos before where I've used a normal smithing stone weapon, I also grabbed the bell bearing that was here. It's literally just in a cave, the fucking sealed tunnels or whatever the fuck they're called. You just need to like break one illusionary wall, walk in, you can just grab it and leave. You don't even have to fight a boss for it. All I've put in my notes for this bit is just long journey, so enjoy some B-roll of whatever the fuck this long journey was, wherever I'm going. Who knows? I don't know. I do know. I've already played the game. I'm editing. But you don't know. Mysteries. Woohoo. So the real reason I came here was so I can get a pair of shorts, because you know, famously Pim wears shorts. I then went back to the round table hold so I could go off my audience with the 2 fingers. And they were a little too wiggly and weird for me, a little too wrinkly and like scabby for me, so I didn't like them. So of course I immediately go talk to my main man Varay, because he too hates fingers. He thinks they're a little too wrinkly. And for some reason his hatred of fingers means that I now have to go kill Mr. Beast. And purely because Varay used his manners with me and said please and thank you, I decided to do as he told me to. And I tracked down Mr. Beast, but unfortunately Mr. Beast did best me in combat and I did die 1 time. But unfortunately for Mr. Beast, he died the 2nd time we fought. And Beret was so happy with my work, he decided he was going to give me another job. The job to go collect the blood of a maiden. But yet again, he used his manners and he said please and thank you, so I had to do as he asked me. So I traveled back to the Church of Anticipation where I killed the grafted sign last day. It was really easy, you don't need to see that. So I can find my original maiden so I can recycle her and steal her blood to give to Vase. When I finally got back to Beret, he was very, very happy with my work. So happy, in fact, that he grabbed my hand and broke my finger. This man must really hate fingers. Beret also gave me a little, like, teleporting medallion thing. He told me not to use it, but obviously he doesn't know who I am because I immediately used it. Well, you already know I went directly to the bird spot because I had some Albinaurics I needed to kill. Because I am extraordinarily broke. You know, for someone whose brand image is literally Albinaurics, I do kill an awful lot of them. Anyway, I use the runes I get from killing my fellow brethren to upgrade my weapon a little bit. Hey, would you look at that? It's the part of the video where we head to the Weeping Peninsula. For the same reason I always head here every single playthrough, I have a tree I need to kill. Because this tree drops my 2 favorite tiers in the entire game. The Opaline Bubble tier and the Crimson Burst tier. Because who can really argue with health regeneration? And don't worry, my beautiful peeps, I made sure to go grab the 2 tiers that are in the Weeping Peninsula. Anyway, now I've weeped my little heart out, I think it's time that we head to the Academy of Raelucaria, because I have some devious schemes brewing. And by devious schemes, I mean killing a wolf, because I tracked down the Red Wolf of Radahn, and because I haven't forgotten last run where he absolutely caved my shit in. I had anger in my bones, I was out for fucking vengeance. And let's just say I got my vengeance, and he is no longer walking among the living. And because I didn't completely and utterly decimate the Red Wolf of Radahn, I decided my build wasn't quite there yet. So I decided to head into this random cave where nothing really much happened. It was like a bit of poison or whatever the fuck, but we don't really care about that. There's a Clean Rot Knight at the end, right? And if you kill this Clean Rot Knight, you get the Winged Sword Insignia or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It's on screen now if you care that much. Basically, it gives you more damage on successive attacks. So when you're using something like a dagger that hits like fur quick, that shit is so good. Anyway, with that side quest over, I think it's about time that we head back to the Academy of Raelucaria, because I want to kill Moongrum, and of course I immediately decimate him. It does say I died in my nose, but I don't know if that's from Moongrum because I didn't fucking label it because I'm an idiot. You know, I've been making videos for like years now, but still, you know, I still don't have this shit down to a science, do I? But saying that I fought Ranella, I guess I did kill him eventually. And on the topic of Ranella, that's who we're gonna go fight next. So I'm gonna do my little quirky bit where I say transition and I put like an image of Pip on screen. Woohoo! Transition! You know, I didn't even realize that you could just like hit the spirit she summoned and then practically always just disappear after a couple hits. I thought you'd have to like the entire health bar, but no, if you just hit them a little bit, they like vanish. This boss fight is so much more manageable now I've discovered this. Still hate the spammy bitch, but a little less. There ain't no time to rest, my beloved peeps. We're heading straight to the Leyndell royal capital because I need to go stomp the light out of Morgott's eyes yet again, which is obviously incredibly easy. He also drops this like talisman that buffs your stamina, but it's kind of a negligible amount, so it doesn't really matter. I do use it for a little bit though, so it is on screen. Anywho, the real reason we actually came to Leyndell is because I went to go see the prawn guy, who has evolved into the crab man. You ever heard that thing about like how everything eventually evolves into crabs? Google it, it's weird. Don't know why I'm putting that in the video, but yeah, interesting fucking topic to go look at. I obviously buy some crab off of him. I wonder what boss could possibly be next. Radahn, obviously, so we head to Radahn Castle, where I go through this mystical magical portal, and it's the Radahn Festival. We love the Radahn Festival on the Big Don Tom channel. We have a woman who's definitely real and not a doll. Blide, half wolf, half warrior, half man, half whatever the fuck he wants to be. And my absolute favorite character in the entire game, Alexander Iron Fist Warrior Joe. Anyway, it was finally time to go fight Radahn, where unfortunately I did die because I'm absolute dog shit at this game and I should quit and play something, you know, more my speed. But unfortunately for him, I can resurrect from the dead, so I decided to give it another go, and well, troglodytes, this happened. Transition. This fella suffers from like big boss syndrome, where he's like so big that his attacks are really well telegraphed and really easy to dodge. And I've also fought him enough times that I just know how to dodge all his bullshit, so it doesn't really fucking matter anyway. And before I left, I made sure to say goodbye to Jari Boy and Blide. And because I completely and utterly forgot to do this beforehand, I went to the old lady so I could go get another talisman pouch. Anyway, because one boss isn't enough, I decided I was going to go fight another one, specifically the tree sentinel outside of Leyndell. Unfortunately, I did die twice, but one of the deaths was because my controller decided to start throwing a hissy fit, and the other one was completely justified. Yeah, he just beat me, but shut up, I'm goated. And look, he's dead now, I won. Apparently, Melly really hated the tree sentinel because she was very happy after I killed him. And I'm sure there's absolutely no other reason she could be happy. Hey, look, it's the part of the video where I give you the obligatory reminder. There's just like this giant fucking tree sentinel, tree avatar, whatever the fuck they're called, in the middle of Leyndell, which if you kill it just gives you 50k runes, and it's really fucking easy to kill, especially if you have a build that's using fire. Basically free runes. Believe it or not, but Leyndell is actually just Leyndell, so what do you do when you get to Leyndell? The answer's actually pretty obvious. You go fight Godfrey. Transition. It's Godfrey, what did we expect? Of course I beat him first try. He's literally a ghost, he's already dead. I like turtles, so I decided that I was going to get the green turtle talisman, because, you know, I have another talisman pouch now. Quite frankly, my current build is really lackluster, so I decided I was going to go on a journey for some more talismans. So the first thing I do is I go to Caelan and I speak to the bug guy. This guy's a bug if you didn't know. He's a bug in disguise. He's like a bug wearing a human suit or whatever the fuck. I then completely skip his like part of the quest, go into the town and light all the lights really quick because I'm impatient. And then I actually go kill the boss that he wants me to kill. I think it's like Commander Nile or Neil or some bullshit. I really don't care. And that gives me the unalloyed golden needle, but unfortunately it is broken. So I give it to the bug guy. The bug guy repairs the needle obviously because that's how the quest goes. He then tells me to go stab a woman with this light needle. And who am I to deny a man his request? But I do get completely distracted because there's a Tier America in there. I do eventually get around to saving this random woman's life. You know, I stab her with the needle, and I'm pretty sure she dies, but then she comes back to life, so I don't fucking know. I then go into like this like castle that's like covered in like poisonous goop, so I can go get her a prosthetic arm. Elden Ring truly is the best walking simulator. And obviously I track the rot woman down so I can give her a prosthetic arm. And then I decide to go to the windmill village so I can go kill the godskin that's there. Not because it's important to the quest, but just because of the burning hatred that's in my heart. I know it's disgusting, you know, the episode where Pim goes fucking insane. Pim's insane. So I decide to now kill the woman I just gave an arm to, because why not, you know? She drops a really good talisman. I think Pim would kill her, quite frankly. I think Pim's evil enough to do that shit. It also boosts damage on successful attacks, and it, like, meshes well with the other talisman, because they, like, don't cancel each other out. Anyway, back to actually progressing the game. Hey, look, it's the part of the video where I always joke about it's the first time an Elden Ring player has been in someone else's bedroom. Woohoo. You know what that means? It's time for us to go find Morgott. Morgott's the next boss. Here's his obligatory feet picture. Look, it's his feet. Woohoo. Anyway, transition. I meant transition into the boss fight where I actually win and not the one where I died immediately because my controller decided to throw a fucking hissy fit yet again. Transition. You think after the first 2 times you whoop his ass, he would have learned his lesson and actually just moved on with his life? He could have picked up like a cool hobby like pottery. He could have actually done something with his existence other than standing outside of a tree and getting absolutely shit on every single time. The tree told me I couldn't enter it, so I respected his decision. But then I went and spoke to Melly, and she told me to go to the mountaintops of the giants. So obviously you can probably guess what we did next. We went to the crab guy because I needed a crab restock. Anyway, now I'm crabbed out. I decided that I was going to go humor Melly's request. First things first, there's a door, you open it. There's a lift, believe it or not. A talisman, that's fire negation. Another lift. Would I have lovingly nicknamed Facebook Land? Another lift. The mountaintops of the giants. First things first, I picked up the smithing stone bell bearing. And then I did a little bit of grinding, just a little bit. So I could have just enough to actually upgrade my weapon, obviously. And also a little bit so I could go buy some bewitching branches, which are a surprise tool that'll help us later. How about we actually get back to the mountaintops of the giants, huh? Keep this sick-ass shortcut, my beloved trogs. You can jump off of this cliff, land on this tray, and just go straight into Castle Soul. Anyway, so the reason we actually got the bewitching branches is because in this boss fight, the 2 guys he summons, you can actually use the bewitching branches on them and make them kill the main guy, like the main boss, which makes this boss fight a lot more manageable and a lot more easier. So obviously I won because I made it easier. I did this so I could get the first half of the secret medallion, and I also went to the Albaneric village and got the other half. I just killed the guy. And now what would be the point of gathering the secret medallion if I weren't going to hoist it? So obviously that's what I did next. Hey, would you look at that? We're at the secret path to the Haligtree. I wonder if that's foreshadowing where we're going. The fog is coming, the fog is coming, the fog is coming. The fog is gone? Quite frankly, my beloved troglodytes, I'm skimming over this bullshit because I really could not care less. There's a little town, there's lights now. I light the lights and now the town is full of light. And for some bizarre reason, lighting all these lights allows me to go to the Haligtree, one of the most boring places on the fucking planet. Hey, there's ants here, there's like a big fat boy at the end or whatever the fuck, I don't care. We run through until we get to this lift. And hey, Loretta's here. I don't actually mind Loretta as a boss, but I did unfortunately die to her 1 time. So now I actually really hate it because I'm bitter. I do beat her on my 2nd try, so yippee, I guess. This gives me access to the base of the Haligtree, where there's like one cool thing here. There's like a cool ass shot, because that's what you're gonna be seeing. That's the B-roll. Hoo-hoo, B-roll. I love B-roll. And also obligatory rot swamp, because who am I to strip Miyazaki of his joy, because his vision truly is beautiful. Hey, look, we skipped to the part where I get the Dragon Great Shield Crest, or whatever the fuck talisman is called. Best defensive talisman in the game for physical damage negation specifically. The next talisman I have on my list of talismans I wanted to get for this build was the Godskin Swaddling Cloth, which is really easy to get. You just go into this cave, kill the boss, so look, he's dead, you're seeing the footage right now, and you get it. It's really fucking easy. We can move on with our lives now. Anyway, with my talisman side quests out the way, it's finally time for us to go do something more fucking productive. First things first, I go grab the tier that's here, because, you know, it's kind of important. I then continue on until I stumble across this, like, blood guy, but unfortunately for him, I'm goated on the sticks, so I absolutely decimate him in combat. I killed him so I could go into the church behind him and grab the tier America that's there. Hey Lois, remember that time that we killed the fire giant, Lois? Thank you, Peter Griffin, for cutaway gagging our way past the fire giant. So now you, the viewer at home, don't have to suffer through the entire fire giant fight. Unfortunately, canonically, Melly is actually immune to cutaway gags, so she had to suffer through the entire fire giant fight. So she did burn herself to death, which is a completely justifiable reaction. You know, it's actually ironic, because she's the one that died, but I was the one that got sent to hell, because it's finally time for us to go to Farmer Azula. There's absolutely nothing interesting in Farmer Azula, but there is a pretty cool shortcut I can show you. You can roll off this ledge, land on like this bit down here, roll off again or whatever the fuck, and you can actually get to the Godskin duo fight even quicker. You know what, my beloved troglodytes, I fucking hate the Godskin duo fight. I hate it so much that you're not even gonna fucking see it. I'm cutting it. You're gonna see me kill them. That's all you're fucking getting. That is the modicum of respect I have for these motherfuckers. That is quickly tarnishing with time. Fuck the Godskin duo. But hey, with the Godskin duo finally dead, I can finally upgrade my weapon to plus 24. I also quickly grabbed the maxed out smithing stone so I can, you know, max out my weapon. And then I decided it was time for us to go back to Farmer Azula so I could go put the tree sentinel where he belongs, in the fucking ground 6 feet under. I also quickly went back to Mogwyn's dynasty so I could go get the faith damage negation talisman. This is kind of just in the corner on the floor. And now I finally had that talisman, all the preparation I needed to do to finally go kill Maliketh was over. So obviously now I'm gonna go kill Maliketh. Transition. This entire boss fight would be so much better if like the part where you targeted him was like lower down. Would literally fix the entire boss fight. Because when you're fighting him with a weapon that's this short, it usually just fucking misses when you're like right next to him. But hey, would you look at that? Pim got his hands on the Rune of Death. I hope this causes no major consequences. Ah, the Ashen Capital. What a glorious place. Look at this random hole I found in the ground. We're going in there now. And who could have possibly guessed that it led to Leyndell's sewers? There's some like omens down here. They're pretty fucking easy at this point. We're like really far in the game. I'm gonna be so honest with you, troglodytes. I'm so sick of this place that I'm not even gonna fucking talk about it. There was like a fake moat somewhere down there. He died. And there was like a hidden door behind him where there was some parkour where I died 8 whole times. I love video games. I love dying in video games. It's my favorite pastime. I do eventually get my shit together and make it to the bottom. And obviously I didn't make it all the way down here to not claim the frenzied flame. In my notes I have the words crazy Pim. You know, it canonically does go insane when the witch does her witch magic. Anyway, with that bullshit out of the way, I think it's finally time for Sir Gideon Orkney the All-Knowing. He kills me, but only once, and then I kill him only once, so we're basically on equal footing. But he doesn't get to respawn, I do, so I say I won. Hey look, it's like the 50th time an Elden Ring plays in someone else's bedroom. God, I play this game too much. But anyway, we can finally go fight a boss who's actually pretty fun to fight and pretty cool. I will be a Godfrey Glazer till the day I drop dead. Transition. And also because I know this boss fight so well and I don't get hit that much, it's also one of the easiest ones to edit. So maybe I only love it out of convenience, but I still love it nonetheless. No, my beloved peeps, there's only one thing between us and the final boss of Elden Ring, and it's completing the outfit, because yes, I am using Horrorlu's pants. I think these fit Pim infinitely better. Anyway, now we can go kill the final boss of Elden Ring. Transition. Holy shit, my beloved troglodytes, I'm so tired. I'm so happy this video is almost finished and I can almost fucking upload it and never fucking look at it again. And also, I beat the final boss of Elden Ring. It was pretty easy. It was a proc weapon. It's always easy when it's a proc weapon. It's almost like Bleed's really good, and Bleed plus Frost is even better. Hey, look, we're up to the part of the video where I show you nerd stats. This video took almost 7 hours to record, which is pretty bad for me, quite frankly. I managed to refine this game down to about 5 hours. Here's what my equipment looked like by the end of the game. You know, you probably could have guessed. I told you most of the talismans I got throughout the video. And this is what my status looked like, you know, level 100 or whatever it was. I actually haven't checked yet. I'm just recording a voice line. It's about 2 in the afternoon. I haven't slept because, yeah, again, I've left this video till the last minute and I've had to edit it basically all in one sitting. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so sad that Smiling Friends isn't coming back and they're not making another season. Stay safe and watch the roads. Au revoir.